What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So, you know what? Instead of my typical Kamen Rider and Boonboomgers episode reviews, today I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in probably years, which is review one day's worth of superhero time episodes as of today, as of this recording, so October 6th, 2024. So, yeah, I'm going to do this video not just for the price of one, but two episodes worth. Two shows. So we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gav and Boonboomgers in this video. So let me start off by saying that there will be I'm not gonna spoil anything, I guess, but there will be some important details that I'd like to mention. So again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but let's talk about today's superhero time. So let's start with Kamen Rider Gav episode 6. So this marks the debut of Kamen Rider Valen. So that is the highlight of this episode. So Valen makes his debut, Hanto finally becomes a Kamen Rider, and we see how he becomes a Kamen Rider in this episode. We already know that he's gonna become a Kamen Rider at some point, but again, we see how today. So I would like to say that the episode starts really, really dark. And I guess going back to my previous video about Kamen Rider Gav episode 5, I believe. So I did, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but just to be sure. So there was a theory that has been circulating on the internet, even among Japanese viewers of Kamen Rider Gav. They're saying that Hanto's boss is actually the monster or the Grand Newt that attacked his mother many, many years ago. So, at least in this episode, that is completely debunked. So, Hanto's boss isn't a bad guy. Okay, so we already got that out of the way. So now, we are still looking for that culprit. So maybe in a future episode, but nonetheless, Soji Shioya is not a monster. That we know for certain. So I have also mentioned earlier, so the appearance of Kenzo Suga is very, very important. So we do know that he's the one who gives, Hanto the ability to transform into Kamen Rider Valen. In the previous episode, he was already making the Valen Buster, and now he gives it to Hanto. This isn't much of a spoiler. Again, if you've seen the previous episode, yeah, it's been going in that direction anyway. However, in true Kamen Rider fashion, the traditional Kamen Rider fashion, so just like Shoma, so or at least Shoma's already half Grand Newt, I guess. So we we know that Hanto is 100% human, but he needed some way to transform into a Kamen Rider. And again, in true Kamen Rider fashion, he undergoes some sort of surgery in order to be able to transform. There are some details regarding that I'm not gonna spoil, but yes, Hanto is also he's an honest to goodness, more traditional Kamen Rider. So again, this makes me think, or this makes me wonder, I think that Kamen Rider Gav should have been the 50th anniversary entry in the Kamen Rider franchise instead of Kamen Rider Revise. Like, don't get me wrong, Kamen Rider Revise has its, charm, but if you think about it, well, I guess I've said this in the previous video, everything that Kamen Rider Gav is, like, it's a much better homage to the original Kamen Rider series than any of the recent entries in the franchise so far. Although I do understand that they're trying to be unique, they're trying to have their own stories, but again, like, we have our heroes, undergoing some sort of surgery to modify their bodies that allow them to transform and fight. We do see the return of motorcycles, at least in Shoma's case, at least. So don't let the colorful candy-like costumes and the cute gochizos fool you. They're also dealing with very, very dark stories here. If you look at Kamen Rider Gav, it's there's a bit of a horror element in this show, but again, everything that they've been doing so far, even though we're just 6 episodes in, we already see that, it's much more of a homage to the original Kamen Rider series more than anything, as I've mentioned earlier, of course. So yeah, this makes me really think that Gav should have been the 50th anniversary entry in the franchise, which is really, really good. Again, we do focus on the fight scene between Valen and the Monster of the Week. Well, if you look at the fight choreography, it looks kind of sucky, but of course there's a reason for that. If you see the episode, yeah, it makes sense. But nonetheless, Valen showcases his power, and Professor Suga continues to be, well, very, very sus. So I think I should make a video about him at some point. Hopefully I remember to do that. But nonetheless, I would say another solid episode, especially regarding the introduction of our secondary writer. So I'm actually giving this a 5 out of 5 because how solid it is. Again, like, it's still very early on, but Gav be cooking. He be giving Showa Kamen Rider vibes, but like, it's done in a way that really fits the Reiwa era, Like, it's just, I don't know, a masterpiece. It's too early to say, but so far, yeah, I do think so. So, let's go to Boonboomgers episode 26, I guess. I lost count, sorry about that. But nonetheless, so this is the ToQger crossover episode. So, yep, we finally get to see the ToQgers get featured. So, yep, they are indeed a vehicle-themed Sentai, and even though they're not a car-based Sentai, well, again, I'm just happy that we see a good collab episode. So, I guess so far we've seen, well, of course we had Go On Red, return. Red Racer, in a way, he did kind of return, albeit, voicing the main bad in the summer movie. So, yeah, yes, maybe if we can get Yuji Kishi to appear as, as his character, as the Red Racer, in a future episode, who knows, it could still happen. But we also need to get Kenta Sato back. Like, he needs to appear, like, his team was the one that started it all. Like, they're the first car-based team. We need to see them appear, okay? Even just Kenta Sato would be enough. Like, I do get it. Like, it's gonna be hard to, call back all the, former actors from Turbo Ranger when they're, extremely busy with their own lives right now. So again, Kenta Sato, please, Toei, bring him back, please. So, considering the team up with ToQger, so today's guestings make sense. Well, at least one of them. So we do have two actors returning for the ToQger crossover episode. So one of them makes sense from from the story's standpoint, considering like the previous episodes. So one of them makes really like a lot of sense, and another actor who returns for this episode. So probably he's an actor. He's the actor that you want to appear in this episode. You probably guys know. You guys probably know who I'm talking about, and I just lost my brains when when I saw this episode. Yes, I said brains plural, but I just lost it. Like this actor, like I do get it if he would just like even though a voice acting cameo would have sufficed for me, but seeing him on screen, even though basically at the end of the show, like the fact that he did come back is mind blowing. No, considering how famous he got after ToQger, it's just a miracle that Toei was able to bring him back. Like, I guess he really wants to do this, which is really, really good. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, ToQger crossover episode. I'm not gonna get into so much detail, but it's just a 5 out of 5. Like, ToQger, like, it's the first, I guess, Super Sentai that I've seen, coming to Japan. So it's definitely a memorable show for me. Although technically, when I was still back in the Philippines, well, through the internet, I watched, some of the first episodes there, and then I continued watching when I came to Japan, and yeah, it was the first Super Sentai I've seen on TV, on Japanese TV, and while it's not the best Super Sentai, I would say, but it has its own charm. It has, you know, uh, honestly, I'm not a fan of the suits, but the songs were banger. The opening and ending themes were banger. Like, the story is actually nice. It kind of gets confusing. Like, it was really understand what happened and why, especially like when learning about like why the ToQgers were able to gain their powers. Like in the first episode, it was explained that because you have imagination, but again, it's a rather complicated thing. Like I couldn't get my head around what really happened with the ToQgers, what happened to them, like why they became ToQgers and things like that. But looking at the story, it was, I would say, you know, complicated at best. But it's, I guess, fun because of the characters and their interactions, and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a fun ride in general, I would say. So I ended up talking about ToQger more than Boonboomger, but well, it is the ToQger team up episode, and this year we're celebrating 10 years of ToQger anyway, so it just makes sense. And we also see a preview of the Boonboomgers power up at the beginning of the show. So that one is coming really soon. Actually, next week. So, coming the next episode. So, I'm actually looking forward to it. So, ToQger, did I already give a rating? I kind of forgot. But again, just to be sure, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 just because, yes, bringing back actors. It was just a really good team up episode, and again, I want to see an actual Car Ranger team up and Turbo Ranger team up in the future, just to complete the vehicle themes hentai you know team ups. Maybe they could throw in some Boonboomgers and Deca Ranger. I think Deca Ranger could be a good entry if like they could considerably be a vehicle theme sentai. Kira Major could also work as well. So who knows? But again, at least we need to see Car Ranger and Turbo Ranger come back. So make it happen, Toei. So yeah, I just got really excited when today's superhero time episodes came out. Excellent writing with Kamen Rider Gav. Again, really solid. An excellent team up with the Boonboomgers and ToQgers, and again, bringing back not just one but two actors. So really nice. So yeah, what can I say? I couldn't ask for more. Again, other than those team ups I mentioned, but yeah, today's superhero time really good. So that's all I can say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I know I'm all over the place because just how excited I was. How much hype went into this, and it did not disappoint. So I highly recommend that you watch, Boonboomger and Kamen Rider Gav, when they come out online. So really good episodes today. So yeah, that's all. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. As always, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you next time. Bye.